Some say 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But what do you do when the whole world wants you to be in love, needs you to be in a couple, and the internet is enraged when they find out that you have broken up? In the beginning, it was just speculation, but then love truly blossomed, perhaps manifested by the millions who watch their videos obsessively, believing in this love story, only for it to all come crashing down. Not only have they loved and lost, but they have transformed from beloved partners into rivals on the ice, destined to face each other for the rest of their lives. This is the story of Vasilisa and Valeriy, an ice dance couple turned lovers, now rivals, whose magic captured the heart of millions. In late 2006, a young couple took their 3-year-old to the ice rink. Within minutes, the boy was skating around effortlessly, astonishing his parents with his innate ability. They saw it as a sign of fate and enrolled him in skating classes. But what seemed like raw talent was unexpectedly halted by a fear of jumps. Young Valeriy had developed a terror of crashing onto the ice, a fear that grew with each failed attempt at jumping. As the years went by, the act of hurling himself into the air, executing full rotations in less than a second, and landing on a blade narrower than a centimeter became daunting for young Valeriy. Thus, he transitioned into ice dance, the only figure skating discipline without jumps. Instead, ice dance focuses on lifts, twizzles, performance, and most crucially, chemistry. Because of this, ice dancers are often partnered based off their intense connection to each other. This results in most couples being one of three: romantic, siblings, or most commonly, exes. The most famous of ice dancers, like Gordieva and Grinkov or Tessa and Scott, are synonymous with the word chemistry. Every time they stepped on the ice, sparks flew, offering us a glimpse into their love story, whether real or performed. This unique element of ice dance sets it apart as the most successful pairs master both skating skills and the art of performing, with their scores often reflecting the intensity of their chemistry as a couple. At only 15 years old, Valeriy fought his way into the elite group of coach Angelica Krylova. Valeriy described himself as short, skinny, and seemingly too young to showcase the maturity required in ice dance. Yet, for reasons unknown, Krylova hesitantly accepted him into her group and began searching for his partner. After months of failed auditions, Valeriy found his first partner in Sonia Lodriskaya, but something still felt incomplete. One evening, after training, while watching the Russian hit show Ice Age, Valeriy saw a girl who skated beautifully on the screen. He turned to his mother and said, "That's the girl I want as my partner." His mother laughed. "Keep dreaming. She's already partnered with Ilya, and they're doing so well they might win the whole show." So Valeriy put it out of his mind and continued with his skating training. Meanwhile, the couple on TV, that beautiful girl, did indeed win Ice Age. Months later, Valeriy arrived at the rink to find a young skater and her mother waiting for him. He didn't recognize her at first, but they were there for him. It was an audition arranged by one of the coaches at the rink. During the audition, he asked her full name, and only then did he realize she was the same girl he had seen on TV just months before. The girl he had dreamed of skating was now standing before him. Taking a leap of faith, after the audition, Valeriy and Vasilisa decided to leave their former partners and skate together. Little did they know that this step into the unknown would bring them a step closer to their Olympic dreams, igniting a passion that would captivate the world. After forming their partnership, Valeriy and Vasilisa embarked on a journey that required them to skate with each other in every sense of the word. They needed to be in sync with every movement, to read each other's minds, and to trust each other innately. The key to a perfect partnership is understanding each other not just on the ice, but off it as well. So every moment of training was spent together to build the foundations of that partnership. But the adjustment was hard. Both Valeriy and their coach Krylova can be quoted saying that the adjustment was difficult due to, quote, constant conflicts. Valeriy and Vasilisa were just kids, teenagers working long hours in tandem in a sport that is dangerous, where any mistake or mistrust results in potentially life-changing injuries. For the first year, the couple worked tirelessly, but it wasn't until the 2020 season that they found their first success with Romeo and Juliet's free program. This program depicted the intense yearning and heartache of Romeo and Juliet in a way that was even made more authentic as it was performed by teenagers. Clips of this performance began to gain attention as the young couple's energy was electric. This newfound attention was reflected by the judges who scored them higher at every competition, and the success positively impacted their relationship, with Valeriy and Vasilisa seeming friendlier every day. Their love and fondness for each other became more apparent with each competition, but it wasn't until an unfortunate fall that the internet would truly discover the couple. While performing the free skate, Vasilisa tripped on her blade, and Valeriy had to quickly adjust in order to avoid slashing her with his skate. Fortunately, neither skater was injured, and they recovered well, but fall didn't end up being the reason this clip went viral. Instead, it was what happened afterwards. The way in which Valeriy consoled his partner with kisses and hugs, and then how Vasilisa cried onto his shoulder, it enchanted the internet. TikTok became rampant with fan edits. Soon enough, any clip that existed of the couple hugging or kissing, of which there were plenty, became a viral edit. With every new season, the couple gained more and more shippers, growing their fandom by the millions. The internet was convinced that this love had to be real. It was just too much for it all to be an act. Even off the ice, Valeriy and Vasilisa's chemistry was palpable, and the public wouldn't know this until years later, but it was during this time that true feelings were blossoming. Vasilisa had developed a crush on Valeriy and confessed this crush after months of keeping it secret. At first, Valeriy was hesitant to act on the emotions growing between them, but alas, he did. Unbeknownst to the millions of shippers, Valeriy and Vasilisa entered a real romantic relationship. However, the relationship would only last a few months. Valeriy would later speak of this relationship, stating, "We realized we weren't good for each other." He said that in a skating partnership, you can't help but open up to your partner and be vulnerable with them. This vulnerability often transforms into romance, but for them, it didn't last. The young couple were now exes, skating with each other every single day. Valeriy would later get into another relationship with another ice dancer while still skating with Vasilisa. However, all the internet noticed during this time was that there was this intense passion that existed between them. Whether it was due to love, jealousy, tension, or all three, their chemistry translated into all of their interactions on and off the ice, electrifying every performance for the fans. So the fans only grew more passionate and more fanatical about their relationship. They were convinced that whether they wanted to admit it or not, Valeriy and Vasilisa were in love with each other. Mere weeks before the breakup, Valeriy was asked in an interview if all the edits of their supposed love affected their partnership in any way. Valeriy responded by saying, "If we have shippers, it means we're doing our job well and efficiently." Little did the shippers know that in mere weeks, Vasilisa would confirm their biggest fears. Rumors had been swirling for days that the couple had separated, fueled by the abrupt, unexplained withdrawal of their entry to the Russian test skates. Initially, people assumed it was due to injury, but as time passed without any sightings of the couple together, the rumor mill began to churn. The most sensational of these rumors suggested that Valeriy had dissolved the relationship with Vasilisa so that he could skate with his girlfriend. However, on August 31st, 2023, Vasilisa put all rumors to rest, confirming on Instagram that the 5-year partnership had indeed ended. And yet, it wasn't Vasilisa's confirmation of the breakup that shocked everyone. It was her allegations that Valeriy was the cause of the breakup due to one singular action, the contract. Vasilisa's post read, "Dear friends, as you've already seen, our partnership no longer exists. This is real, this is not fake, and I want to tell you the truth. I have never taken a grudge into the public eye, but now I will not be silent." It all started on July 4th. Valeriy told me he didn't want to skate with me. The reason, I know very well. He told it to his friend and my mother, and she has nothing to do with figure skating. The reason was rough and personal. I won't tell you the details as I think it is wrong, but the next day he changed his mind and started saying he didn't want to skate with me because he didn't like how I train. Told me that I hurt him, that I work badly, that I treat him terribly, and so on. Angelica, our coach, and I did everything to keep the partnership together, and for a while it worked out. We discussed and prepared all this time for the test skates. But 3 days ago, Valeriy brought a contract to the training rink and said that if I didn't sign it by September 1st, he would not skate with me anymore. The contract states that I must support him financially. You can see the content yourself. I have attached a photo. We tried to talk. Angelica offered him different solutions, but Valeriy said that this was his condition, and that's the only way he would skate with me. Neither I, nor my family, nor my coach, nobody was going to work under such conditions. That's why we don't skate together anymore. And this was not a mutual decision, but Valeriy's decision alone. However, I am grateful for the past 5 years. There were many good moments and victories. I've learned a lot over the years, and I'll keep going. I love my job, and I'm motivated to keep skating, but already with someone else. Thanks to all the fans for your support. After Vasilisa posted this on Instagram, Valeriy became enemy number 1 of the shippers. The skating world was shocked that the talented couple had broken up, but the fans were genuinely heartbroken. The shippers were enraged, and their emotions took over as most directed their anger towards Valeriy. Valeriy receded into hiding, later revealing that he did not leave his house for a month for fear of retribution from the fans. Shippers threatened to show up at his rink and home. At the time, the only public statement for Valeriy was, "I will never make any comments about the situation in my life. As a man, I am obliged to leave dirty laundry in the hut. If my former coach and former partner want to speak out, it's their choice. I will remain silent. All the best to everyone. Sincerely, Valeriy." The inception of the contract is something which is debated to this day. Valeriy today denies that the contract was his idea, instead stating that it was first brought up by their coach, Angelika Krylova, as a solution to their fights. While Valeriy vowed to silence in the first initial months, his mother, Svetlana, posted on social media in defense of her son, stating, "Our family has no financial problems, thank God. None of our partners were ever burdened with financial responsibility of Valeriy, although such proposals from the girl's parents often came. Vasilisa and her mother are still registered in our apartment absolutely free of charge. Yes, July was a very difficult month for all of us. I always admire Angelika Krylova. I was so sure that I knew her very well, because we have known each other for 30 years. This is my mistaken delusion. Time and life change all people without exception. A sports couple is two partners, each with their own characteristics and abilities. The work of a coach is the work of a teacher, mentor, and educator. A very difficult job. Not everyone can cope with it. When it was necessary to extinguish an already raging conflict, they turned to me at the very last moment, as she knew I could do it. However, drawing up an agreement that would be primarily disciplinary in nature was the coach's proposal, and it was precisely this agreement that managed to save the couple in this conflict. All financial aspects specified in the agreement were purely conditional, since initially they were covered by the Federation. It's a shock to me that Angelika disowned this agreement, saying that she learned about it at the end of August, because she was the initiator of the agreement, shifting all responsibility onto us. Let me note again that she received the contract on August 8th. With time, Valeriy and Vasilisa have now both given interviews about the lead-up to their skating breakup. The only thing they seem to agree on is that the fighting had been mounting for over a year. But they wanted desperately to save the skating partnership, so they pushed past it, agreeing to deal with it later on, after the season was over. Undoubtedly, a big motivator for not breaking up was the fact that they were so popular online and had so many fans due to the shipping culture. Having a skating partner with that much chemistry is a benefit not just within the realm of fame and fans, but also with the judges. So it would have been a very hard decision to break up, regardless of how bad it got. But eventually, it was too much. As it all added up, it became a pressure cooker ready to explode. Vasilisa stated, "It wasn't like one day there was a contract issue and that was it. It started in July. Back then, there was also a lot of talk about breaking up. And indeed, we were on the verge of breaking up. But thanks to our combined efforts, mine and Angelika Krylova's, we somehow managed to put everything back together. Because we didn't want to miss an entire season. There were only a couple of months left until test skates, and it was unclear what would happen next after that. Therefore, we wanted to hold on till Russian Nationals. And for a couple of months, we managed to do it until, well, it is what it is." The interviewer then asked her if the couple was planning to skate the season, knowing that they were going to break up by the end of it. Vasilisa answered, "Yes." The interviewer was shocked, stating, "That's tough. How does one skate with a partner with such an understanding?" Vasilisa answered, "Well, we had already skated through harder times." What the world and that interviewer didn't know is that the young couple had already skated through a breakup before. A different kind of breakup, one involving feelings on both sides. One that could be worked through music and dance, but this most recent breakup was too real. It was one that could not be used for their performances, could not be channeled onto the ice, could not be used as fodder for their millions of shippers or the skating judges seeking more passion in their programs. No, this breakup was too painful. Too real to talk about. Today, Valeriy and Vasilisa scarcely talk about their breakups, only addressing them peripherally and with distance. Instead, they urge the internet to focus on their new partners. Valeriy and Vasilisa have both moved on to new skating partners. The first to announce their new partnership was Vasilisa, who quickly teamed up with Maxim Nekrasov and continued to train under Angelika Krylova. Valeriy's mother hinted in her post that this final breakup was due to the coach choosing Vasilisa over Valeriy. Regardless of the truth behind this, it's clear that Vasilisa and Krylova's relationship has remained intact, as Vasilisa decided to stay with her. Meanwhile, Valeriy revealed that during the first few months of the breakup, when it felt like the whole world was against him, the only coach who reached out with reassurance was Evgeny Plushenko and his wife, Yana Rudovskaya. For those unfamiliar with Evgeny Plushenko, he was a legendary men's single skater, now turned clout-chasing commentator and controversial coach. Valeriy joined his academy, the Angels of Plushenko, and then announced a partnership with Arina Ushakova, which shook the internet since Arina previously skated with Maxim. Yes, the same Maxim who is now skating with Vasilisa as her new partner. Some people thought this had to be a PR stunt, or some intentional jab at Vasilisa and Maxim, as allegedly Maxim had left Arina in order to skate with the newly available Vasilisa. But whatever the reason, everybody was on the edge of their seats, entertained by the drama, already anticipating the new season. But just when it seemed there would be a dramatic showdown of the exes, Valeriy and Arina announced they were ending their partnership after skating together just over 3 months. The only explanation for the breakup was that their skating had been, quote, interesting but not promising. Months later, Valeriy announced his current partner, Alexandra Shinkarenko. This partnership has lasted to this day as both him and Alexandra continue to skate under the Angels Bushenko. And now the world awaits with bated breath for the new season to begin. The millions of hearts that Valeriy and Vasilisa won over with their love story are now millions of eyes that can't look away from this rivalry. A rivalry so epic and such dramatic background that a Hallmark movie could be made on it. It will be a showdown of epic proportions as the fans continue to pick sides and root for their favorite couple. Valeriy and Vasilisa are now destined to face off for the rest of their competitive careers. Unless destiny pulls some strings again and brings them together once more. It has happened before with some other ice dancers who've been forced to reunite, so it isn't out of the realm of possibility. For now though, Valeriy and Vasilisa remain a cautionary tale. Their story is an exploration of a tightrope act between love and pain. On the ice, they commanded the spotlight, their every move a mesmerizing display of passion that enchanted audiences worldwide and enwrapped the internet. Yet, behind the scenes, their partnership revealed a darker side. Falling in love with your ice dance partner can feel like a magical journey, as if you're performing a perfect synchronized dance under the stars. But it can also become toxic, with the intense pressures and blurred lines turning enchantment into entanglement before you know it. In the world of ice dance, love is both a breathtaking lift and a dangerous fall, where shipping culture elevates these relationships to mythic heights, only to crash them back into the harsh reality of public scrutiny. Valeriy and Vasilisa's tale is a poignant reminder that in this beautiful yet dangerous dance, the line between passion and toxicity remains as thin as ice.